Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom, Brother Naquam.
Shalom, shalom, brother Tazwin, brother Allah.
Coming back at you with another Monday Night Fire. And these precepts giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh Shema Mashiach wa Malaki Rashai. Double honor to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth before us for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of our Lord, Hamashiach wa Malaki Rashai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, reverent to the husbands, being submissive and diligent, and tending upon the Lord without distraction. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children, the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live on another Monday Night Fire. Call Lord Yahweh Shema Mashiach wa Malaki Bashar. Right? You got it, King.
Khan. Right, of course, as always, giving all honor and glory to Abanawa, Allahayanawa, Yahweh Bashma Mashiach, Malakwa Adani Yahweh Shai, Hataz Doctor the Righteous. Of course, I'm giving a strong salute and double honors to our mighty elders, right? Mighty Kapal Kabadim, Latsaquanium, Payah, Ha Adawa, double honors to the elders of the house of David that labored, that brought forth this truth, that set forth the blueprint and guide right for us to have and to also be able to continue to set a standard to build up the young men, the young women, and the young children of all ages in this truth, right? As well as giving a mighty shalom, right? Why Yabashim Yashabakatam to all the mighty Akim laboring on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice. And of course, those men that are building themselves to go on the highways and byways, giving them a mighty strong shalom, right? And also giving a hearty shalom, right? Why Yahweh, Bashim Yashashmatam, to all the mighty Aqua in this truth, married, unmarried, right? Honoring their husbands, raising the children decently and in order, and as well as giving a mighty strong salute, right? Why Yahweh Bashim Yashai Barak Washamatam to all the mighty Banyam, the mighty children in Israel, tuning in to the Monday Night Fires, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and also being a light and pillar right in this dark kingdom. All praise to the Most High, or for the Monday Night Fire.
All praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai. We're gonna get right into it, man. Right? We got this upcoming weekend, or close to it. This so-called Thursday night at sundown is really on the right-hand side. That's the new moon coming up. So you brothers that's in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, rehearsing these righteous acts, keeping the commandments and the faith of Yahweh Shai, and making your body a living sacrifice. You make your body a sacrifice by putting aside the things that you may want to do on that day, whatever your glory is and whatever your pleasures are. This Thursday night, Shalom, King.
Shalom, King.
This so-called Thursday night at sundown is the new moon, but also it's a just balance, because on the left-hand side, you're going to have a lot of demonic spirits and a lot of demons, sorcery, witchcraft, necromancy, charmers, familiar spirits, and all types of demons that want to try to offset, for lack of better terms, the righteous spirit that the Most High is putting on the earth this upcoming Thursday night. And if you're in this truth and you're celebrating Halloween, or you plan doing it, or it's not that bad, you're just going to dress up, or you're just doing it for the kids, and what we're going to do what the kids going to do that day, and you don't want to oppress the kids, and they got to eat too. I got a sweet tooth, and he got a sweet tooth, and I just bought my costume from last year, so I got to just wear it once before I get rid of it. One last house, all that madness has to stop, man. There should be no brother or a sister in the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai celebrating Halloween, man. This upcoming Thursday, I want to get a quick precept. And we're going to go into the dark, wicked, demonic origins of it that brothers, and we kind of went into this last year and every year, right? But we're still going to go back over it, because you have brothers new in this thing. You got sisters doing this thing. You got families in this thing. So we want to go over this thing through the spirit of power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Quick precept. I'm going to actually pull it up on the screen so we can all see it, right? Let's go to the classic. right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, and verse number 20. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 20. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of devils. So you can't serve two masters, man. You can't keep the new moon for 12 hours and then the next 12 hours you go trick-or-treating. Thursday night you go trick-or-treating, freaking off. And then leading up to so-called Friday morning, you're getting ready for the Sabbath. You can't intertwine righteousness and wickedness, man. You can't give a sacrifice. So you make your body a sacrifice. That candy's like a meat offering, man. And people have Halloween parties, they get drunk. It's like a drink offering to the spiritual demon Satan, man. And you can't make a sacrifice and a living sacrifice to the spiritual demon Satan and also do a sacrifice to the Most High by keeping these commandments and building up your spirit, right? But brothers got it.
And just let me back off that right there. That's also inside of the law, right? It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, and verse number 16. It reads, "They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods." Right. So when you're dealing with Halloween, you're dealing with these certain holidays and get down with the customs of Babylon. You're giving sacrifices unto strange gods, right? When you put on those costumes, you know you're kind of channeling and you're getting into right the certain spirits, right, of these so-called characters, man, right, which are demons, right, devils, man. Okay. Reading on, it says, "With abominations provoke they him to anger," right? And the Lord said also, it's an abomination, right? And it's also provoking the Most High to anger, right? You know, when you take off the cloak of righteousness, right, and then you put up upon wickedness, man, right? The Lord told you, right, in Baruch the 5th chapter, man, to put upon what? A double garment, man, right? And to put upon a diadem of righteousness, right? Verse number 17. It reads, "A sacrifice unto devils, not to the Most High." Right? Where is it in the scriptures where the Lord said to go damn trick or treat, right? Door to door. Right? Go get that pumpkin, right? Go get that little pale bowl, right? With the damn hook on it, right? Go door to door and get a so-called candy, man. Right? And a lot of men or children also, you know, they get jammed up. Right, they put so-called, even when back in the day, you know, when I was a young kid in the world, you know, they always have to check to make sure there's no razor blades,
right,
and it's had the candy, you know, make sure to check that that's poison, man. Right, if the day was such a righteous day, right, then it shouldn't be every year, right? Parents have to warn your children, make sure, you know, bring the candy to me, let me check it, you know, and see what's going on. Right. Reading on, it reads, "They sacrifice unto devils, not to the Most High, to gods whom they knew not," man. Right, because when you're dealing with these spirits, man, right, you don't know these so-called gods, man, right, because these are strange gods, man, right, wickedness, right, things of the world and folly. It reads, "To new gods they came newly up, whom your fathers feared not," right? Because our fathers wasn't getting down with this, man. And it's also a wicked, evil, demonic spirit. Also, when it comes to the so-called day, right? Just this past Shabbat in DC, right? It was over like 5 people that got armed robbed, right? And it was so-called kids with ski masks on and so-called costumes, right? Just going around and just robbing people all up and down Southeast. And they say that the so-called this so-called Thursday and Friday, right, is even going to be worse, right? So when you're partaking, right, with the cup of devils, right, just expect more evil and more wickedness to come upon it, right? But brothers got it.
Yeah, and I want to get this quick precept. Yeah, that's a good point. It's going to be a lot of wickedness and witchcraft, right? High on that day and around, that season. You got to watch your spirit and door, where you going, right? Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse number 8. See, the problem with Jake is they always get blinded by a gift, man. You get a gift and it blinds your eyes. Next thing you know, it's not that bad. It's not that evil. Maybe it isn't that bad. And you start to pervert your ways and what you stand for, and it's true, right? I mean, just because you don't see a physical demon or a physical spirit doesn't mean they aren't prevalent and present in your house, on your family, right? Trying to overthrow you. This is Exodus chapter 23 and 8. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise. If you get a gift, right, at your job and or from your family and or strangers or things like that, it'll start to pervert your judgment. Maybe he isn't that bad. That brother, he got a sincere spirit. You know what? It's just for the kids. We've been doing this forever, right? It says, and pervert the words of the righteous. So you don't want to pervert yourself, man. See, the next thing you know, that put a spirit on you. And I'm gonna tell you how and why, right? Many ways, right? Around that season, Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, you're more likely to accept strangers and be in a foolish, blind spirit. This is my cousin or this is my brother. Can he come over for Thanksgiving? You're more liable to open up your house, more liable to be nice or give or spend money. You're more liable to not be yourself because these spirits, they hop on you and they manipulate you and they make you act different than who you actually are, man. You're leaving your light on in your house, having strangers come up, dig and ravish through your porch, invite through your house. You got to see how wicked this is, all in the name of what? Satan, demonic spirits. Hey, the Lord, so I'm going to read that again. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous. So you don't want to pervert yourself around this season and or period in the spirit. You have to be righteous and wise. And one of the key things you have to do as an Israelite man and woman is you have to hate evil. The more you hate evil, the more wiser you become and be in this truth, and the more you'll love the Most High. Brothers got it.
Con. And like Brother Sam, and this is not a day where you can make excuses either, man. See, a lot of brothers, you make excuses, man. Like I was saying earlier, well, what are the children going to do? What are the kids going to do? Right? They're going to sit there and they're going to have to go to school and get made fun of. So what? Huh? You're supposed to be teaching your children the fear of the Most High. So your children shouldn't be a stumbling block. You can't make that a God, man. Oh, they're going to go to lunch and all of the kids are going to be eating M&Ms and Skittles and they're not going to have anything. And I don't want my son or my daughter to be without, and I want them to be within. And hey, look, man, you got to cut all that out. Then the brother might say, well, show me where it's a sin to eat candy. We're just eating candy. Show me in the scripture where I can't dress up. Right? Didn't the woman put on a disguise and went to the prophet? Right? Didn't Josiah put on a disguise? So you'll have people, let me get this real quick in Jeremiah. You have people start freaking off, man, and making excuses so they can do whatever they want to do. This is Jeremiah chapter, and we're going to go into these dark origins, man. Jeremiah 2:33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked one thy ways. Also, in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocent. I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these. So the Most High is letting you know that our people trim their ways to seek love. What does it mean to trim your ways? To make excuses, man. That's what it's saying. You make an excuse to seek love from people that you don't need to be seeking love from, man. Really, you should be rebuking half these people you're trimming your ways for, man. But you don't want to lose that attachment, that friendship, right? That old acquaintance, man. Maybe you don't want to upset your cousins, railing them. You don't want to upset grandma, man. Your little cousins or your children. Because you'll start trimming your ways, man, to seek their what? Approval. Well, really, the only approval that you should be seeking is the Most High's, man. Is that in 2 Corinthians? Let me get that real quick. The 6th chapter. And all things approving ourselves as the ministers of Hamashiach Yahushua, right? This 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and 3. Giving no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed, but in all things approving ourselves as the ministers of the Most High, in much patience and afflictions and necessities and distresses. And you can't give an offense in anything. Let a brother get caught trick-or-treating, man. Putting your fringes on. I'm going to let my light shine. Right? I thought the Lord said, let your light shine. I'm just going door to door telling what not to do. Well, brother, you got a bag full of candy. How'd you get a bag full of candy? You know, if you went from door to door telling them not what not to do. Yeah, I'm just taking it so I can throw it away later. So, I'm giving it to the poor. No offense in anything, man. But in all things, approving ourselves as the ministers of the Most High. So there are certain trials and there are certain prerequisites and standards that the ministers of God go through. And you check these things off and you see, am I really a man of the Most High or not? Am I going through patience, affliction, necessities, distresses, etc.? Or do I have days of wicked festivities and days of mirth where I can just freak off, follow the spiritual demon Satan, follow these demons? And like Gabar said, people they take on the demon of what they dress like, man. You got these whorish nurses and these witches and warlocks. They really get into this thing, man. You know, people dress up in the dark, hiding in the bushes. A lot of one more point, a lot of children go up missing that day, man. That's really an illuministic day of child sacrifice and cannibalism and damn absolute madness, man. You know, a lot of children go missing on that day. You don't think these elites glorify this day? For you, it's trick-or-treating and candy and Snickers. For them, it's baby blood, child sacrifice, pentagrams, sorcery, and demonic entities, man. It's a day for warlocks, wizards, and I'm talking real warlocks and wizards, not damn a street performer, magician. Real warlocks, man, that run the earth in dark places. So you got to be mindful of these things, man. Brothers, God.
Come. Right, real fast. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16 and verse number 19. It reads, "Thou shalt not rest judgment." Right, so you can't just be simple, huh? Right, or just buck up, right, or or try to assimilate and try to mix the world with the truth, right? Try to throw in a little bit of paganism, right, with with your fringes on, huh? Right, as the Most High said in the book of Exodus, right, the 23rd chapter and verse 2, right, thou shalt not follow a multitude to go do evil, man. Right, so you can't just go in and get in, right, just because it's the so-called thing to do, or as brother said, man, right, you're so-called going door to door with your fringes on, man, right, you I'm passing out a flyer with one hand, but you damn taking candy with the damn next hand, man. I mean that's off, and that's just folly and madness, man. Right? You secretly, just want to just jump in, man. You secretly just want to partake, and be a part of the so-called evilness, man. Right? It reads, "Thou shalt not respect persons." Right? Even if it's your so-called family, your so-called rib, your so-called damn mother, your so-called father, man. Right? That try to damn oppress you out. Like I said, I know it's certain. It may be certain brothers, maybe young, certain sisters, you may live with with your parents still, you're working to, get your own household, maybe 18, 19, etc. You may be at a young age, man, right? Don't let the evil spirits, right, or peer pressure, right, or any so-called spirit, right, deter you or force you to be a partaker, man. Right? You had a brother, man, right? The so-called parents was kind of doing things in household, but they was trying to press them out, to pass out candy for just 1 minute, right? 30 seconds until they get back, man. right? No, you gotta reject those evil spirits, right? You can't rest with judgment. Say, well, it is so and so, right? Hey, it is Joey, right? Hey, let me pass out candy, right? Well, it is my folks, and let me get down. No, right? You gotta rebuke and reject those evil spirits, right? Not show any respect to persons, man, right? Or attend with judgment, right? Read it on. It reads, neither take a gift, for a gift doeth blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous one. Right? Right. So you don't want to pervert the wisdom and the commandments that the Most High has set by, man, right, for you to receive or take, right, any secret love, man. Right, sloppy. Let me get that real fast in Proverbs. All right. Actually, dealing with the children as well. Right. This book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse number 6. It reads, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Huh? Right. So what if it's every so-called, kid, right? If all the men of this world, man, are getting down with evilness, man, right? And getting down with just being wicked, man, and folly, man. All right. The Most High, man, said to train up your children, man, in the way that he should go, man. Right, not the way that seems convenient, right? Not the way that will, you don't want to get a laugh at, man. Right, not the way that we're gonna be sometimes in, sometimes out, man. Right, no, trying to get children right in the way that they should go, right. That way they don't depart or they don't waver, right, from the Most High and from the law, statutes, and commandments. Combo with that, bro's got.
Come. Yeah, that's right. And I wanted to pull up this in Isaiah chapter 57. Isaiah chapter 57 and verse number 5. Right? And nothing you do in the darkness, the Most High isn't going to see. Right? It's Isaiah chapter 57 and verse 5. Inflaming yourselves with idols under every green tree, staying the children in the valleys under the cliffs of the rocks. So what does this mean? This is going into doing sacrifices in the dark. And a lot of people, they do sacrifices in the dark, man. Right? You'll fulfill your lust and think nobody sees you. Right? God forbid you bat an eye of evilness and or pervert the day of the Most High, right? And just yield yourself unto these wicked days, man. Right? And Halloween is one of the most wicked days on the face of this earth. Right? You can get away with anything on Halloween, man. Right? I'm led to believe, I could be wrong, but I'm led to believe that police officers and all people that are supposed to be governing the so-called cities bat an eye to all wickedness, man. Could be somebody fighting in the street, they may just drive by. Right? It's so much evil on this day that it's like, well, what could we do? Like brother said, people end up missing, dead bodies, right? A blood sacrifice, wizardry and warlocks, people putting all type of pins and needles in your children's candy. Like brothers are saying, children end up missing, right? This is a wicked day, man. Right? Around where I live is somebody with a door and it's painted. Their door is already painted of Jason and with a knife like this. Right? Already. Just damn, you walk up the you jam walk by and you see a damn white man with a mask on with a knife like this, just lusting the day. It
Wow.
says, among the smooth stones of the streams is thy portion. They that are thy lot, even to them has thou poured a drink offering. Thou hast offered a meat offering. Should I receive comfort in these? Right? And you don't always have to bow down physically and or give up a physical meat offering for you to be sacrificing unto these idols. Right? You can scroll down, King. Right, verse 7. It says, upon a lofty and high mountain hast thou set thy bed, even thither wentest thou up to offer sacrifice. Behind the doors also and the posts hast thou set up thy remembrance, for thou hast discovered thyself to another than me, and art gone up, and thou hast enlarged thy bed, and made thee a covenant with them. Thou lovest their bed where thou sawest it. So this is going into what? Spiritual fornication. You don't want to commit spiritual fornication in the back of your mind, right? And pervert your ways via the hand of your children, man. right? You know, who cares? You know, looking back when we all were in the world and the things that we had going on, man, I hated those things, man. You know, it put a spirit on people. It says, and thou wentest to the king with ointment and didst increase thy perfumes. Thou sendest thy messengers afar off. Right? What does it mean you increase your perfumes? Right? When a woman is trying to allure a man, she may deck herself up, right? Put perfumes on, change her raiment, her clothes. A lot of people do that. They decking themselves with strange attire, right? They're doing all of these things with strange perfumes and lust to allure things of this world. Right? When you want to allure the most, you put your garment on, right? You offer up a righteous sacrifice, you give alms. These are the things that are a good odor. But when you put on perfumes and things of this world, you're just alluring demons and lust. My brother's got it.
God. And people allure that to add to that point because that's really what's inside of them, man. Because that demon inside of them is not comfortable unless there are other demons that they can bring with them, man. Same thing with righteousness, like you were saying, man. A lot of brothers, they don't feel right unless they read or they're around brothers or they're doing the work of the Most High or whatever the case may be. There has to be some level of righteousness, man, to allow a brother to be comfortable. But these demons, man, that's why you got these Halloween parties, man. It'd be freaking off, drunkards, wickedness, lust. Now, Halloween, when we go into it, right? We're not going to read this whole thing, but you can look into it on your own. Halloween actually goes back to, we're going to read it. Halloween, also commonly known as All Halloween or All Hallows Eve. So that's what it really means, All Hallows Eve. The ween really goes back to Eve and hallow meaning saints or holy, right? That's why it says All Saints Eve. And it has nothing to do with the saints. Now we know that the saints are the children of Israel. When you read Psalms chapter 50 and 5, it's like, is that Psalm 50 and 5? Psalm 50 and 15? Let me get that real quick. 50 and 5. Salakia. Psalms 50 and 5. Right? Psalms 50 and 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So the saints are those who made a sacrifice in blood to the Most High to establish a covenant. But Halloween, what they're saying is they're making it off the beat, or its origins is called All Saints Day. And we're going to go and show how it came from All Saints Day to what it is today. Right? So it reads, is a celebration observed in many countries on October 31st, the eve of the Western Christian feast of All Hallows Day. Now, All Hallows Day, we're going to go into that real quick. Right? All Hallows Day, also known as All Saints Day, is a Christian solemnity celebrated in honor of all the saints of the church. So there was an original day established by Pope Gregory IV when you look it up. And before these images were whitewashed, they were all, imagine this being all dark-skinned, brown-skinned Israelites, man. If you've seen the ancient Russian icons. And there was a day the church created in tradition to honor the saints, Peter, John, James, Andrew, the Apostle Paul, our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So they had a day called All Saints Day. This was originally the day after so-called, what you now know as Halloween. And before there was even a Halloween, all you had was All Saints Day, right? Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it reads, from the 4th century, feasts commemorating all Christian martyrs were held in various places on various dates near Easter and Pentecost. In the 9th century, some churches in the British Isles began holding the commemoration of All Saints on November 1st. In the 9th century, this was extended to the whole Catholic Church by Pope Gregory IV. So Pope Gregory IV was the one that established All Saints Day. All Saints Day. That's why Halloween is really the eve of All Hallows Day. Now you call it not Hallows Eve, but now we call it Halloween, right? Now it's called Halloween. And what they did was they took this day that was intended to be righteous, to remember, men that would that fell asleep and that died in this truth, men that gave their lives for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You got to remember, during this time, this is the fall of the after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. You know, after 476 AD, and you had Jakes coming on the scene, rising up in power. You know, especially around the 9th century, right? You had the beginning of the Holy Roman Empire. You had the Eastern Roman Empire. You had a lot of Israelites that were still on the scene. But then you always had these leaders that incorporated pagan customs with things that were made to be righteous. Same thing with Easter, right? Easter is a pagan custom that they incorporated and intertwined with the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You know, so I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it goes into the beginnings of what Halloween came from. I'm going to read this last part right here. And the Western Christian practice, the liturgical celebrations begin with its first Vespers on the evening of October 31st. Why? Because the day begins at sundown, right? All Hallows Eve, All Saints Eve, or Halloween, and ends at the compline of November 1st. It is thus the day before All Souls Day, which commemorates the faithful departed. Right? So again, Halloween is the day before All Saints Day. It was supposed to be a day set up when people prepped and got ready to, you know, honor the Yahweh Shemi Yahushua and the saints and the men that died in this truth, and a woman that died in this truth. Right? The men that survived the Christian persecutions, you know, of Diocletian and Nero and all these different men. And they made a day to honor those men that were martyred in the Roman Empire. But eventually, like things always do, they've been polluted, corrupted, and intertwined with wickedness. Brothers, have anything on this? Okay, kind of moving on real quick. Now, where it really goes back to, kind of getting straight to the point, this is where the demonic part comes from. You may ask, well, okay, where does the demon come from and the dressing up like a ghoul and a goblin? Now it goes back to a Celtic festival called Samhain, right? Samhain. And again, we're not going to read this whole thing, but it reads, Samhain is a Gallic festival on November 1st, but they were started on October 31st, marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, or the darker half of the year. It is also the Irish language name for November. Celebrations begin on the evening of the 31st of October, since the Celtic day began and ended at sunset. This is about halfway between the autumnal equinox and the winter solstice. So what they would do is they had a day celebrating Samhain. Samhain. And what the Romans did, and a lot of Israelites did, was they said, you know what? Here we are doing All Saints Day, and that doesn't please everybody. Everybody doesn't want to be righteous. Everybody doesn't want to be holy. We have these pagans that are part of the Roman Empire, that are part of this system. Let's please them too. Instead of All Saints Day, you know what? Let's add their God to it. They could do their God and their deity as well. So they intertwined All Saints Day and the worship of what you call Samhain, right? The worship of what you call Samhain. And we're going to go into this, right? And play a video of what they do even today on the worship of Samhain that began on October 31st. I want to get a quick precept on this, right? I want to get a quick precept on this. This is the book. Slocky, I want to get let's go to Amos, the classic, chapter 5. Right? This is Amos chapter 5 and verse number 21. I despise your feast days. I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. And this goes into Jake, who corrupted their feast days, man. Right? You had Israelites that kept the feast days. They weren't sincere. They were hypocrites. They were oppressing the poor. right? You have days that may have been intended to be righteous, but if it's not in the right spirit and you add corruption to it, the Most High despises that, man. A lot of these days that are celebrated in Babylon the Great at one time had biblical origins. You understand? As some type of biblical foundation. You know, Easter, the All Saints Day, you know, and many other things. But now they have been despised because Esau and wicked Israelites have always found a way to pervert that which was righteous, man. Here you got Jake going to church on Sunday, and they got church trick-or-treating things, man, for the kids. I don't know, brother, seen it when you drive past these churches, they got the thing with the black letters. They be like,
Yeah.
yeah, they be like, praise God, or come to church, or service 9 a.m., Bible study 10 a.m. Now they got damn boo and watch out for the ghoul or God. So now even the churches are into it, man. And when I was growing up in the world, the church that I went to, they was getting into that stuff, man. You know, make a Sunday lesson about trick-or-treating. And the Most High's not dealing with that, man. So these days that Jake you're into, you don't even know why you're in it. You don't know that you're worshiping. And again, we're going to go into how dark and vile this day is. That you're worshiping literally the spiritual demon Satan. The brothers got it.
Con, and I want to bring this out, you know, as well. A quick point. Now going into that Samhain, right? This is on Google. It says Samhain, witches and other pagans celebrate Samhain also as the witches' New Year, right? So that's one of the things also like they look at is the new year for witches and warlocks. It says in variety the ways include bonfires. So I mean it's not off to have a fire and to sit around it, but you have a lot of people on the face of this earth. They gather around that fire, and that's spiritual because that's where you do sacrifices at. They'll dance, they'll paint their face, they'll do all type of lewd acts, they'll burn animals, they'll burn children, right? Riches. It says bonfires, silent suppers, whatever the hell that means, man.
Wow.
Just eating in the dark, being quiet, shh. Just eating, man. Whatever the hell that sound evil, man.
Right.
What Jake don't talk, right? At the dinner table, man. You laugh, you know, talk of righteousness, past this, past that, right? So you got silent suppers, nature walks, forest bathing, right? It says intuitive rituals, custom parties, trick-or-treating, and jack-o'-lanterns, right? So those are a couple of things that you could read about how witches celebrate, which is also their new year going into Samhain. And I wanted to pull this precept out real fast too in Isaiah, right? Chapter 47, verse 12. And you got to know the origins of a lot of things that you do in Babylon, man. You can't just go with the flow of things. And when I first came into the truth, I probably told this story a million times. When I first came into the truth, I had to learn everything all over again. Whatever the church taught me, I exited it all out, man. Because I've never really read the Bible. I said, well, did Noah really build an ark? Man, I had to read it for myself. I questioned everything. The Most High had me dialed in, and I read, and everything that's in this book, I accepted and I applied, and everything wasn't, I kicked it out. And that's how you got to be with America, man. You can't take the American customs and the things that they taught you and just deal with it and keep it. You have to question everything and put everything on trial. The Lord says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. You know, what profit can the enchanters and the sorcerers do for you? It says, if so be that thou mayest prevail. Right? And you can't prevail unless the Most High has you to prevail. Right? There are precepts, and Satan does bless you on the left-hand side, but guess what comes of that? Death, judgment. So you can never really fulfill the things that you lust and want after that Satan gives you. It says, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and stargazers and monthly prognosticators, Salaki for pronunciation, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Meaning nobody can stand up and stay the hand of the Most High. The Most High want to kill you, judge you, destroy you, break you down, take your riches from you, your wisdom or anything. Let somebody else stand up and stop the Most High. Let an astrologer, a stargazer, if the Most High has prophesied of something, let them stand up and say otherwise. Nobody can stand up against the counsel of the Most High. It says, behold, they shall be as stubble. They're going to be destroyed. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. And when you look at ancient Egypt, you had Moses doing miracles by the hand of the Most High, and then you had those wicked Egyptians and sorcerers trying to mimic those same miracles that the Most High did, and they could never keep up. So don't get overthrown just because there is wickedness in high places, but it's limited, and those things aren't going to save you or benefit you. It says, there shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit right before. It says, thus shall they be unto thee, with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants. From thy youth they shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. Right? Nobody's going to save you when the Most High stands up against you. Right? You have many witches and warlocks, like you read about, right, with Saul beseeching the witch. Hey, when you read that account, that witch was scared. Not only was she was scared of Saul to be killed, not even the Most High. So, I mean, if Saul is just mad, how much more the Most High? She was scared that she was going to get thrown and burnt out of the land. So it's only so much you could really be fearful or scared or give these sorcerers, right, what a lot of people yield them unto, right? They look them up to be gods, right? Witches, warlocks, sorcerers, and all type of demons and spirits. But that's the thing that people kind of fear in the world, man. You know, but brothers got it.
Con.
Con,
Let me get Yara down in here.
con, all praise. Con, right. Slucky. This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 19. Right, because as brothers are going into, right, you had a lot of these days which were set up, right, to praise, right, famous men, man, right, as you read about in the book of Sirach, right, men and women who actually gave their life, right, for the gospel, right, but through wickedness and perversion and evil men that crept through, right, all things have been turned into wickedness, right. It's Second Maccabees 4:19. It reads, this ungracious Jason sent special messengers from Jerusalem who were Antiochians to carry 300 drachms of silver to the sacrifice of Hercules, man. Right, Slug, and you also when you read later up in this chapter, man, right, you had certain men, right, who cast aside, right, the law, statutes, commandments, right, of the Most High, man, right, and made themselves as Antiochians, man, right. The modern day, you get taken off your fringes, right, you're casting away the law, statutes, commandments, right, for a day, right, to make yourself an American, right, just to get down with the so-called get down, man, right, to make yourself, right, to assimilate, right, with the wickedness, man, right. You also had those, right, who neglected the sacrifice, right, who start wanting to do the work in the actual temple, man, right, and rather give more sacrifice, right, to right our idols, man, right, and that's the same spirit, right, that you're moving in, all right, when you're getting down, right, with so-called Halloween, man. Right, reading on this reads, which even the bears thereof thought fit not to bestow upon a sacrifice because it was not convenient, but to be reserved for other charges, man. Right, you're casting away, right, all things that are righteous and good, right, such as coming together, right, praising the Most High, right, or even this Thursday, right, keeping the new moon, man, right, thinking about your forefathers, right, who actually stood up and stood bold, right, for the Lord, man. Right now, you're casting that aside, right, for other charges, man. Right, you're casting it aside, right, just to get some damn sugar and candy, man. Right, just so that you can paint your face, right, throwing a damn costume and freak off, man. Right, let me get a precept on that too, man. right? You know, just again, right, to deal with just wizardry and witchcraft. Right, it's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 21, and verse number 1. It reads, Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign. He reigned 55 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Havzibah, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, at the abominations of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel, man. Right. So the Lord said that Manasseh, that he followed after the ways of the heathen, man. Right, because that's what it is, man. Right, and the Lord told you in Proverbs the third chapter, right, not to follow the ways of the heathen, man. Right, jumping down to verse number 6, it reads, and he made his son pass through the fire, man. Right, meaning what? Right, you're giving your children right over to these idols, right? These strange gods to be killed, to be then devoured, overtaken. Reading on, it reads, and observed times, and used enchantments, and dealt with familiar spirits and wizards. He wrought much wickedness in the sight of the Lord, right, to provoke him to anger, huh? Right. So just through the whole spirit and getting on with the essence of it, man. Right, you're dealing with much wickedness, man. Right, and which can lead to your whole household, right, being overthrown, destroyed, right, cast down, man. Right, and again, right, you got a lot of darkness, right, that's going on inside the open, man. Right, those certain men that got those secret black hoods, right, with the red on the inside, man. Right, with those so-called upside down, right, 5-point stars, man. Right, you may look at certain men as oh, they just so-called damn dressing up, man. Right, but you got a lot of men, right, that's dealing with spirits, man. Right, and challenging the spiritual demon Satan, man. Right, that's taken on, right, that ancient old Celtic, right, and Samhain spirit. My brother's got it.
Yeah. That, I mean, that's an excellent point, man. Everybody ain't out here playing around for trick or treat, man. You got actual demons out here, man. You know, you got people out here, like we were saying, child molesters, man. You got people damn putting spells on people. Yeah, that stuff is real, man. I just went to the precept, Isaiah 47. It's another scripture, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 18. This stuff is real, man. This isn't witchcraft is real. Sorcery is real, right? See, the so-called white man, you grow up and you think it's just street magic, sleight of hand. He got the answer to everything, and there's no such thing as warlocks and wizards. It's only things in video games and movies, man. Right? That's Lord of the Rings, damn, World of Warcraft, and all of these they call it fantasy. It's a whole genre dedicated to fantasy. And fantasy stuff has magicians, spells. I remember that game. At the game growing up. I don't know if brothers remember that. Final Fantasy, King of Hearts, was it Kingdom Hearts? One of those games, man. And them games, it was potions, antidotes, man, spells, and you grow up conditioned thinking that this stuff is just a fantasy. This stuff is real, man. Right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 9. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. And Halloween is an abomination after the wicked Celtic guild of men that dealt with sorcery. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, right? Like what they call it, a crystal ball, a lucky 8-ball. Yeah, people that walk around with a lucky 8-ball, man. Whatever they call it.
Ouija board.
What is it?
A Ouija board.
Yeah, Ouija board.
Tarot cards.
Tarot cards. And we found out through the spirit that the first school we had in Baltimore, it was the exact building where the Ouija board was created, man. You know, so people deal, like you said, Ouija boards, tarot cards, palm readings, crystal balls, black magic, terraform. You got these palm reading stores, man. You might be driving from Detroit to Baltimore or wherever down the highway, and always got these houses. Come get your palm read. Who goes in those houses, man? But Esau's not going to condemn that house, man. You know, he's not going to foreclose that house. He's not going to do what he does to you when you can't pay rent. And those guys, they don't have to pay rent, man. Now you can come out and prove me wrong, but those guys don't have to pay mortgages and rents, man. A lot of these guys are they're connected, and they get off, man. These are set stumbling blocks. That's divination. People use objects to divine. Even Joseph, he was mocking when he said it. He put the cup, I believe, in Benjamin's sack and said, "That's the cup wherein I divine." And he got that from Pharaoh, because Pharaoh, they would take cups and stuff and they would divine and do all types of madness with it. And Joseph was a witness to that when he was in Egypt. Right? It reads, or an observer of times. That's dealing with the stars, right? Looking at the stars and channeling spirits. Pisces, Taurus. Oh, she a Libra, is going down. I only date Sagittarius. That's an observer of times. Or an enchanter. And then what is an enchanter? An enchanter is somebody that seduces you with demons. That's an enchantment. An enchantment is like when you do incantations and people do these spells. Like when you watch those Harry Potter movies, when they got that wand, they say words with it, and the demon won't activate until they say the enchantment. Right? They'll say something like hocus pocus, or you watch the movies, brother, sing Harry Potter, you know. But there's actual demons that they call upon that can't be called upon unless you say particular code words, and that demon will come out through that damn wand, man. You know, it says, or a witch. We know what a witch is. It's a female version of a wizard. Or a charmer. What is a charmer? A charmer is like an enchanter. Somebody that can take you out of your body, man, and charm you and give you and put demons on you. And then there's a thing actually called charms. There was a TV show called Charmed. A charm is like an amulet. You might have somebody with a necklace on, and it might be like I think a bar said like a Baphomet, or it might be like a stone, and it might have blood in it. And they worship that. It's a spirit on that, and the cursed thing. And they channel demons through that. That's a charmer. They deal with charms and idols and beads and damn necklaces and stuff like that, man. Like that brother that Araya was teaching, that you was teaching with the ox on his hand. That's what that would be, a charmer, because he has spirits on him. It says, let me finish this. Or a consulter, because you got to really go into this. Or a consulter with familiar spirits. That's what you call a medium. A consulter is somebody that knows how to talk to demons. So if you want to talk to a demon and see the dead, or bring up somebody from the dead, you got to go through that person. They're the gateway between the living and the dead. And they could talk to demons. And demons are very familiar with them because they got demons on them. They can sick demons on you. People be having demons in their house, man. They got that movie, Paranormal, I believe it was Paranormal Activity. And they got these movies when they set up the cameras and the cabinet open and it closed. Lights turn off, lights turn on. You hear footsteps and kids laughing. Hee, hee, hee. And that's people that they put spirits in the house, man. Or a wizard, right? That's a man that deals with sorcery. Or a necromancer. A necromancer is somebody that deals with the dead. They go around graves and they try to raise up the dead, right? And they take out the dead bodies. They may eat them, pop them, take organs out, sick the dead on people. For all that do these things, and that's what people dress up as, man. You know? For all that do these things are an abomination unto Yahweh. And because of these abominations, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, thy God, doth drive them out before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. So you got to really examine this, man. These spirits don't say, well, that was back then. Oh, that was ancient Egypt. That was the ancient Philistines. That doesn't exist now. Look, we have iPhones. We're not pagan and archaic like that anymore. No, these men, your wizards now, they wear suits and ties. Right? Your witches now, they wear suits and ties. Right? These guys that you see, these elites, these warlocks, these are your wizards, man. They don't wear black hats all the time and fly on broomsticks. That's a fantasy, man. These guys, they dwell amongst us. They live in a dark world, but they walk around us, man. And you may have encountered one of these guys, man. They may have came to camp, put spirits on your phone, try to attack you, but the angel of the Lord around you is fighting those spirits as we know it, man. So that you have heavy amounts of sorcery that's going to be magnified on that day. And that's why it's important to keep your spirit right, man. Because if you off in the spirit and you going to hell off, then you're going to be more vulnerable and susceptible to these demons. They're going to have their way with you. And you're going to be caught out there. You have to deal with it. Right, but brothers got it.
I got a precept in Jude chapter 1, verse 14. As the brother said, there's nothing new under the sun. It's happened even in the days of old, which is why our forefathers during Enoch's time and prior rebuked evil. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints, to execute judgment upon all and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their heard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. And so that was done even back then. You had the serpent even in the garden, which was man, doing all manner of wickedness and witchcraft. There's absolutely no new thing under the sun. And now it's just kind of formed into a different word and verbiage. People call it Halloween. People would dress up and scare people. What grown man wants to dress up and scare and spook people? Being a gotcha goblin, turn into a ghoul, a creep, a pervert. In addition to that, a lot of these people, I mean, these are witches' favorite time of year. This is the absolute favorite time of the year. We look forward to Passover. We look forward to Feast of Dedication, new moons, holy days, even the Sabbaths. We look forward to being amongst the brothers, the sisters, and righteously communicating the words of God. But they look forward to this one day. And best believe a lot of people die on this one day, which is Halloween.
Right.
I want to pull out Ezekiel 21 and 21. It's going to be a lot of witchcraft executed the night of Halloween. This is what I wanted. There we go. Yakan. For the king of Babylon stood at the parting of the way, at the head of the two ways, to use divination. He made his arrows bright. He consulted with images. He looked in the liver. Now, looking, these steps and methods, we don't exactly know why he had to do it this way, because we're not wicked. That's why we don't know. We don't know why he had to use the arrows and make them bright and how he consulted with the images. All we know is that this particular fashion and how he's doing it is wicked, and it's also seen today. A parallel to this would be sacrificing goats on the left-hand side, sacrificing frogs and people. He pulled out that liver. However he got that liver, whether he killed it or one of his left-handed priests got that liver, and he looked inside of it. And he somehow read what it was going to do. In Acts 22, at his right hand was the divination for Jerusalem, to appoint captains, to open the mouth, and the slaughter, to lift up the voice with shouting, to appoint battering rams against the gates, to cast them out and to build a fort. And it shall be unto them as a false divination in their sight, to them that have sworn oaths, but he will call to remembrance the iniquity, that they may be taken. So people, like Balaam, you have a lot of people that try to throw curses up on people around this time of the year. And if brothers and sisters don't know, the Israelites are hated. You know how many witches and wizards we rebuked? It was a few years ago. almost a decade ago. I believe somebody came up to the camp. It was in Baltimore, and he said, "I got your soul."
Yep.
That was a wizard. He
Yeah,
said, "I
yeah,
got your soul."
yeah, yep. Hey, real quick, Slocky. Yeah, that was probably 7 years ago, man. He put his hand. He still comes to the harbor. He put his hand on Amos' head, and he says, he said, "Your soul is mine." And we had to rebuke that real quick, man. You know, he didn't put his hand. He didn't. Brother didn't let him put his hand on his head, but he was close. He was reaching and said, "Your soul is mine." And it was dark and cold out, man. Hey, and if the mercy of the Most High wasn't on us, we would have got caught out there, right? But you got it, King.
And one last thing, we was in 7 Mile and Van Dyke in Detroit, and there was a wizard on the other side of on the street, and he was an actual wizard. He was drawing pentagrams and symbols on people's cars, kind of doing some movements, kind of talking to us. The angels had us that day, and we prevailed. But nevertheless, you got wizards roaming this earth. So, people read this Bible and say, "No, that's done away with." Nobody's doing that. People are doing it. If you're not aware, then that means you've been bewitched. But with that, I yield.
Yeah. Yeah, and also to let me back off those points that brother had made, right? Even in the so-called KKK and certain of these organizations, right? They go by titles, right? The so-called top men, right? They are they're called the grand wizards, right? The grand dragons, man. Right. But these are your quote unquote everyday policemen, right? Your so-called police chiefs, man. Right, your so-called judges, man. Right, men that walk to and fro, okay, with so-called suits and ties on, man. Right, every day, but at night they're doing what, man? Right, they're so-called this regular everyday working man by day, right, with the so-called uniform, etc. But by night, right, they take that off and then they put on that cloak and veil of darkness, man, and wickedness, right? And they have secret countings, right, and secret meetings, man, right, that they do and eat and do sacrifice and do bloodshed, right, and do all types of trafficking and evilness in the dark, man, right? It's the book of Numbers, chapter 23, and I'm sorry, at verse number 5. It reads, "And the Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth and said, Return unto Balak, and thus thou shalt speak. And he returned unto him, and lo, he stood by his burnt sacrifice, he and all the princes of Moab." Right? So even in the ancient world, man, you had wicked nations, wicked men that would come together, right, and do sacrifices in the damn dark, man. Right? The same way how they so-called mask it, right, as all people to join in and hand, and it's a fun day and it's harmless, and it's just so-called it's just so-called dress up, man. Right? But no, but secretly it's wickedness. Right? Secretly it's plots, it's schemes going on, man. Right? It's mass murder. Right? And why is it that all these so-called damn movies, man, come out around a so-called Halloween, man? Right, your so-called Michael Myers, man.
Right.
Right, your so-called Jasons. Right, all the evilness, all the wickedness. Right, it doesn't come out during the so-called summertime. Right, during the so-called springtime. Right, it comes out. Right, your so-called pin face from Hellraiser, Jeepers Creepers. Right, all the wickedness takes place. Right, it's always around October. Right, it's always in all these movies, all the evilness and darkness and they're killing and madness is going on at night, man. Right? It's because it's wickedness, man. Right? Reading on. It reads, "And he took up his parable and said, Balak, the king of Moab, hath brought me from Aram out of the mountains of the east, saying, Come, curse me, Jacob, and come defy Israel." Right? So all while, right, it's so-called it's the so-called offerings, man. It's a so-called sacrifice of candy, man. Right, of mirth and gladness, man. Right, it secretly counsels to overthrow you, man. Right, it's secret meetings, right? Secret men who put on robes and put on clothes, man, right? That's doing things in the dark, man, right? To them overthrow you, man, right? To commit murder, man, to commit all types of them just evilness, wickedness, and lewdness. My brother's got it.
Real quick, Slucky, I want to pull this up because you mentioned that, and I actually did forget all about that, man. Their title is Grand Dragon, right? When you get up there, and the so-called KKK and these different Masonic orders, and another one they have, and I believe you mentioned that, is Grand Wizard, right? And only Esau will call this his highest status Grand Wizard or Grand Dragon. You know, and I was thinking at that point when Yahweh pulled that precept too, and Ezekiel the 30 was that 21st chapter, when it said they made their arrows bright. A lot of, and that goes back to the arrows. They would dip it in the tar and the fire, and they would light it. A lot of warlocks and wizards use a lot of fire on the left-hand side. Fire means a lot to a lot of people that deal with sorcery and witchcraft. Rather, it's for offerings, for magic, you know, for the spirit of heat, and they tap into that spirit of fire, because fire is like a spirit. It's not necessarily a something that you can create and dig out the earth, right? So people tap into that fire, and they use it for sorcery. A lot of the so-called grand wizards, there's a spirit behind them burning those crosses in the fields of Jake down south, man. They didn't accidentally do that. That wasn't just, oh, I tripped and I burned it. A lot of these wizards, warlocks, they deal with fire, sorcery. It's like a curse that they was putting on the sons of Jacob back in the late 8th, after World War II. I mean, it's like after the Civil War. That's when they really came on the scene. And then all the way up to really the early 1900s. So they was burning crosses, burning houses down like a damn dragon breathing fire. And a lot of that fire and then the stuff they was doing was high level sorcery. It wasn't just taking them out and lynching you. They was doing sacrifices. So they would burn the fire. It was a ceremony. It would startle your spirit. Then they would go in your house. They would grab you out and they'll kill you, man, and lynch you as part of it was a ceremony. And a lot of times these grand wizards and these men, they would go back and they would eat you, man. What did they do to Nat Turner? Didn't they grease, damn near melt him? And they turned his skin, I believe, to grease. And they cooked with it. I believe they ate his knuckles or sold him at a butcher shop. Now you can say, oh, that's far-fetched. Okay, well, look, until they come out and prove us wrong, hey, that's what it is. They can come out and say, no, we don't do that. Well, that's what you're doing for now, right? The Grand Wizard, sometimes called the Imperial Wizard or National Director, is the national leader of several KKK organizations. Now, we don't have Grand Wizards. We're supposed to be these big, bad, black identity extremists, domestic terrorists, but they allow and condone warlocks and wizards on the left-hand side. Now, I want to bring this out because, Ryan, you brought this out earlier. I want to touch on this on, where's this at? On Samhain with the bonfire, because I actually go into that fire. Now, on Samhain, it says, I'm going to jump down to this. This is ritual bonfires, and Ryan was touching on this earlier. It says, likewise, only certain kinds of wood were traditionally used, because certain woods, they do certain things. Like there's a precept, a brother could correct me or pull it if they want to, where it says, was not the water made sweet by the wood. So certain trees have like different spirits and things that they do. Frankincense trees, and they give an aroma. I
think that's 2 Ezra 2 and 21.
That is, was not the water made sweet. But if yeah, we could look into it. But certain trees have different spirits, man. Like frankincense trees, they produce an aroma where they say frankincense helps you concentrate, gives you memory, makes your memory sharp, you know, helps you focus. That's why they lit it in the temple. So Hollywood goes back, of course, to what? The wood that they would use for spells and sorcery. That's where you get the term where they knock on wood. If you still knocking on wood in this truth, man, I'm gonna go to camp. Hopefully we have a mighty camp and you knock on wood. Hey, you gotta watch that, brother. Man, I hope we have this is a mighty lamb and he knock on wood. See, a lot of us, we just do things we don't even know where it comes from. Now, when you look it up, not to be long-winded, knocking on wood goes back to what the Druids would do when they would go at a set time of the year and they would knock on the trees to channel the spirits. So you got to be mindful of this thing, man. So they would use certain kind of woods for their fires. Then the Ark of the Covenant, wasn't that a certain kind of wood that was used? Didn't Noah's Ark had to be a certain kind of wood, gopher wood, cypress tree? So there's a spirit behind the elements, behind fire, behind these trees, behind the water, you know, and the angels that manipulate these elements. On the left-hand side, they try to tap into it. So let me finish this real quick. It reads, only certain kinds of wood were traditionally used, but later records show that many kinds of flammable material were burnt. It is suggested that the fires were a kind of imitative or a sympathetic magic, mimicking the sun, helping the quote-unquote powers of growth. See, there's a spirit behind that fire that Esau be into, and holding back the decay and darkness of winter. They may also have served to symbolically burn up and destroy all harmful influences. Accounts from the 18th and 19th centuries, meaning 17 and 1800s, suggest that the fires, smoke, and ashes were deemed to have protective and cleansing powers. So you got to, these spirits are heavy out there. And one more point, Jake, they like bonfires, or really Esau. Oh, we're doing a bonfire. You coming to what they call Burning Man? I think that's the thing. We're going to Burning Man today. Or they like this big wooden man on fire, and they get drunk and have lewd sex and rise up to play, man. You know? So you got there's a heavy spirit behind this date, man. Like brothers are going into. Right? Brothers got it.
Khan, I want to bring this out in Sirach chapter 39 and verse. I'm gonna start at this whole thing is fire. I'm gonna start at 25. All right. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 25. It says, "For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners." So with everything, you have a just balance, right? You have somebody that's literally making garments for the Israelites, sewing them up, putting on fringes, right? Doing everything that our foremothers did before in the ancient world. But then how else do you get these costumes, man? Somebody's literally sewing up a wizard hat. Somebody's sewing, I mean, they're literally sewing these things up. All of these different crystals, they're making these different garments, these warlocks, these enchanting things. It says the principal things are for the whole use of man's life are water. See, water is spiritual because it's likened unto the knowledge of the Most High, right? It's likened unto a purity, right? The rivers flowing from the Most High's throne, right? I mean, you don't want nothing else but a cold glass of water when you're thirsty. But water could be used on the left-hand side, man. They torture you with water. They'll take water and they'll throw it on your head or something like to cast a spell on you or to try to burn you with it, man. Or they'll flick water on something that they're trying to so-called get rid of spirits, right? These people do things with water on the left-hand side, right? They create potions and liquids and all type of things with water. Fire, like the brother was going into. Fire is used on the left-hand side, right? Chiefly with magicians and magic. They'll try to spark different things, right? It says iron, salt. What do people use salt for on the left-hand side? And a lot of ancient, old Negroes right down south, they'll put salt in front of their door, man. Because they don't want nobody to cross into the house, right? Thinking that they're cleansing it from spirits. They'll hang up bones, right? They'll have socks hanging with all type of crystals in it, right? Then they'll take dust And God knows what this dust is, and they'll blow it in front of your face, man. They'll try to cast a spell on you. They'll put dust in front of their door. They'll put salt in front of their door, or they'll mix salt with different things and feed it to you. So these things, can have a demonic spirit behind it. With everything, there's a just balance. Flour and wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and olive and clothing. So these things are really for the principal things for man, but the sinners, they turn into evil. All these things are for the good to the godly. So to the sinner are they turned into evil. And you got to try hard to turn salt into evil, man. Go ahead. You had a point?
Yeah, real quick. Can I get this one quick precept?
Bring it up.
It's Leviticus chapter 2 and 13. And every oblation of thy meat offering thou shalt season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy God to be lacking from thy meat offering. And with all of thine offerings thou shalt offer salt. So it kind of binds you to a deity or an entity.
Yeah, and two, it's a precept that says we made a covenant with salt, right? An
Yep.
everlasting covenant,
Yep.
right? So that also goes into that. So we're bound on the right hand side with salt and righteousness, right? Meaning an everlasting covenant, right? To the house of David, because salt is like a preservative. So it's bound unto that everlasting. But the same way they'll use that on the left hand side for wickedness. Brothers got it.
So
yeah, and also to let me back off that point, right? You get, as brother said, you get 2 points to everything, right? To what everything is a just balance, right? As brothers went into, right, with the liver, Yaradan, right? It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 3, and verse number 3. Right now, this is going into Aaron, right, and the priesthood, right? Reads, and he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering, an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And Aaron's son shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord, right? Right. So you have different parts, right, of the animal, right? Even when you read the book of Tobit, the 6th chapter, right, how the Lord commanded the angel, right, to have the gall removed, right? You have certain parts, right, whether it's the liver, right, whether it's the gall, right, whether it's the kidneys, right? These instruments or parts of the body, right, are used, right, on the right hand side, right, for sacrifices, right, for healing, for purification, okay, right, on the right hand side, man, and even as a sweet savor unto the Most High, right. And then you also have on the left hand side, right, you may have those who may use the liver, who may use the gall, the kidneys, right, to go in and use as properties, right, to go and stir up the spirits, right, for divination, right, to channel demons, right. And then they give that offering and that sacrifice on the left hand side, right, to slaughter to and entice, right, and to bring demons into, right, and also to I believe this may be the precept that you wanted to write. It's slaughter the book of Numbers chapter 18 and verse number 19. It reads all the heave offerings of the holy things which the children of Israel offer unto the Lord have I given thee, and thy sons and thy daughters with thee by a statute forever. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Lord unto thee and to thy seed with thee. Right. So the Lord has, right, the salt to be used on the right hand side, flock it, right, for us, man. Right, the salt, the oil, right? These things are to be used on the right hand side for righteousness, for sacrifice, right? For peace offerings, heave offerings, wave offerings, man. Right. And then you got those that take the salt, right, on the left hand side, right? Those they so-called make certain circles with the salt, right? And they may make symbols to channel in demons, or they may use the salt, right, and they make certain shapes, right, to hold or to channel certain ceremonies, man. Right, so we have those things that are made for us to be used on the right hand side for righteousness, and then you have the principal things which are used on the left hand side for wickedness.
And I want to pull this up real quick, just since we're touching on it. It says many witches use salt to create boundaries and spells and rituals by using it to draw a protective circle around them. It's also good for home protection, right? And they say it's for protection. Salt is used often to ward off negative energies and protect against unfavorable outcomes. And don't get into this. If you're going through the fire and maybe if I just get a little bit of salt, and that's my answer. No, this is witchcraft. What we're going into, this is sorcery. Don't be getting enticed when you start looking at your salt in your kitchen because you got fired from your job, or your woman left you, or you sprained your knee, and now you're just looking for any answer, man. Like King Saul, right? For purification, for grounding, spiritual rituals, prayers, and declarations. Salt can be mixed with ink for spell work. Yeah, somebody take ink, dip it in salt, and write your name and stitch it in a hat. Wear the hat for 7 days, then burn the hat. Next thing you know, your arm hurt. And you can't shake it. Your arm locked up on you. Because they wrote your name with ink and a spell, put a hat on for 7 days, took it off, and then burned it in the fire. Right? Personal defense. So this stuff is we're not going to do it in that breakdown on this, right? But we're just showing you, the Lord said, be not ignorant in anything, in a great matter or a small. Let me get this precept real quick in Ecclesiasticus, the 4th chapter. And I want to play this quick video as well regarding what's going down at Samhain. Ecclesiasticus chapter 14 and verse 20. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. So you should have knowledge of how evil can impact your life and your growth in its truth. You don't want to be naive and just completely naked and not ashamed and just simple, right? You don't want to be simple. A brother sitting up there drawing a pentagram on your porch. Wow, look at that. I wonder what this is. He put 6 candlesticks. Wow, this is getting crazy. He got an all black hood on, man. And dripping blood in the middle of it, lighting candles. Wow. What is this? This is amazing. You're taking pictures, you're putting on your story, Next thing you know, your damn knee hurts, man. Right? Or you start damn coughing up blood. And things in your house, all your plants start dying. Because you don't know that this guy was putting a spell on you, man. Right? It reads, for there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there's a shame which is glory and grace. And if you're too ashamed, it's going to lead to sin. If you're too shy about matters, I don't want to know. I just want to wear my fringes. I don't care what those brothers are going into, as long as I got my fringes on. Fringes. Hey, this thing is beyond fringes, man. Yeah, that's a pivotal part. It's part of the law, but you want to be well-rounded and versed in the knowledge of the Most High. Even David spoke of secret counsels, man. Isaiah spoke of sorcery, man. Nahum and all of our prophets, they knew these things, man. They weren't just green, how they say. It reads, and let somebody blow salt in your face, man. Some random person come up, they reach in their pocket, and they whisper your name and run away. Oh, that was crazy. Right? Hey, brother, next thing you know, man, your car start breaking down out of nowhere. So you don't want to be just simple. It reads, and there is a shame, which is glory and grace. And then on the other hand, you want to have a righteous, shame-faced mentality, which can bring about glory and grace. So let me play this quick clip real quick. Now, believe it or not, The practice of worshiping Samhain and all of that, that's going on as we speak. Now, this is a clip from what they were doing so-called last year. Now, check this out. This is the Beltane Samhain Fire Festival of 2023. Now, check out this freakism. Now, it's 22 minutes. We're not going to watch 22 minutes. I skipped around. I saw maybe the first 4 minutes. After that, I said, this is madness. So we may play it, may skip around a little bit, kind of see what's going on. Hey, brothers, hear it?
Con.
You gotta analyze this. You gotta look at this. Spare you. Brothers need me to pause it, I'll pause it. The street of this is going on. They got a censor too. And they spin it how brothers spin it, man. I don't know if you see that censor. Hey, but they like stuff too, man. We like the frankincense and the myrrh. God knows what they're lighting out there. And it's a spirit behind smoke too, man. You know? It's a spirit behind aromas. There's a thing called aroma. Spells can put smells can put a spirit on you, man. There's a reason why the Most High said, do the frankincense and the myrrh. So God knows what they're doing right here, man. Let me get one quick precept, Slacky. Right? This one quick precept. Right? This is Bel and the Dragon. I want to get one quick precept in Bel and the Dragon. Right? This is Bel and the Dragon. And I'm going to start at verse number, let's start at 9. Bel and the Dragon, verse 9. I'll start at 10 to get straight to the point. Now the priest of Bel were 70, beside their wives and children, and the king went with Daniel into the temple of Bel. So you have priests on the left-hand side. There's a priesthood after the order of Melchizedek. There's a priesthood after Aaron, and there's a priesthood after Satan. There's a satanic order of priests. You have high priest, you have lesser priest, you have men that like to censor, you have men that do the prayers, you have men that do the sacrifices. Everything we do on the right-hand side, they do it on the left-hand side. They got a guy that like the incense. We got men that like the incense, right? Of the chorus of Abia. So there's a pattern of things on the left and the right-hand side of the Most High. How did he do that? We've never been able to do that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, what the hell just happened?
Right. I see brothers spin the censer all the time, but it's never just caught fire like that. You know, that's my first time seeing this too. Why are people clapping and praising that? Because they're drunk. They're under a spell. These might be their wives and children, man. Look at this. It gets worse. It's going to get worse. That reminds me of Revelation, when they took the fire in Revelation 8th chapter from the altar and cast it into the earth. So he's taking fire from that's in the law. He's taking fire from the censer. You know? And about to do God knows what with it. These guys probably read the scriptures too. They know about the Most High. Fast forward a little bit. So that's them in a fire sacrifice. Now check this out. Yeah. These Edomites. That's Esau in his raw form. That's raw form Esau. So if you wanted to know, okay, who's the so-called white, why do we say he's the devil? I mean, look at this.
Yeah, like that just looks like madness. I don't know if they just having just a damn freak off or if they trying to get burnt and become an offering, but it just looks crazy.
And I guarantee there's at least one Jake there. There has to be. There's at least one brother there who got invited and wondering what the hell is going on. Look at this madness.
Salakia, brothers could correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I heard children earlier that were clapping.
Yep,
Yeah. So I mean, they just freaking off and popping off right in front of the children.
God, it was some child that was screaming for even more fire, man.
Yeah. He said fire, and everybody started laughing and kind of getting off on it. You know? So look at this. This is madness. And what this man, they're unfazed. They're unfazed by this. So they that means they see this all the time. That means they grew up doing this. They studied how to carry the fire. They know how many steps to take. They know the boundaries. They're completely unfazed by this. If this was a brother in the truth, hey, they'll run 7 ways to the light, man. But look at his face, man. I've been there. I'm ready for this. This is my hour. Look at these eyes. Look at these demonic serpentine spirit, man.
Salaki, I got a quick precept. Right, I gotta pull this precept. Right, the classic. Job chapter 30 and verse number 7, man. I have to pull it.
Yeah.
Right. This is Job chapter 30 and verse number 7. It says, among the bushes they braid, man.
Right.
When you go into that word braid, right, it's going into like noises and crying out. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. If you didn't have the visual, you would think that these were creatures.
Right.
Right. If you couldn't see the visuals, you would think they were some type of fox, some type of creepy thing, or some type of creature in the wild, man. It says, among the bushes they braid, under the nettles they were gathered together. So that means they literally got gathered together under bushes, under trees. That's exactly what they're doing outside. They gathered together making noises as wild beasts, screams and strange noises, and they're crying out. And they're doing lust, sodomy, and all type of wickedness right in front of children. And the children got to be into it too.
Yep.
So you wonder why, you got to watch your children too, if they go to public schools or daycares, around these Edomites, because the stuff they see and that they learn and that they hear, if you're not watching, they'll try to teach that to your children. Oh, God knows worse, right? Try to perform certain things which they witness, right? The same way you may have a son, he may watch the football game, he may want to tackle, one of his schoolmates. He may go to school and try to, paint red paint across your son's forehead, man, and tap him on the top of it. Right? These damn devils, man. You gotta watch them. Brothers got it.
Yeah.
And also as the Lord said in Isaiah 66:4, right? The Lord said that I would choose your delusions, man. And these are strong and sick delusions to just be unfazed, right? First and foremost, the whole video just started off just demonic and just evil as hell, right? And what the hell is this? What is this, man? Right? You got men with damn green eyes,
Saints.
butt naked, just naked, just running, right? You got men with torches and just unfazed and wearing all black, right? You got just men and women just freaking off and just wallowing and howling and making strange noises, man. Right? It's just a strong delusion and evilness and wickedness, man. Right? And Esau has laws, man. Right? Isn't it a public indecency, man? Right? To be just naked, man. Right? Isn't it so-called right Esau's laws, right, as child endangerment, man? Right? To be having them around, right? This type of freakism and lewdness, man. Right? That just goes to show, man, that Esau, he has no regard, man, for his own laws, man. Right? In the name of Satan, man. Right? In the name of paganism and witchcraft and wickedness, man.
Okay. Let me play this real quick. Yeah, you you flick your son on the forehead or slap their wrist, CPS, they're knocking at the door, man. But like you said, they let Esau get away with that. Literally, they get away with murder. But the so-called white man can make it. Why y'all not teaching to the white man? The white man wrote that book. You mean to tell me after watching this and seeing what Esau's desires are into, he wrote the book of Daniel? He wrote the prophecies in Ezekiel? He wrote all those laws in the Torah, every statute and ordinance. He wrote about Isaac and Rebekah. He wrote about all these accounts. You mean to tell me that's why you Jakes are sick that say the so-called white man wrote the Bible? You never read the Bible with understanding. But he can't be into this and write that. It's impossible. It's a spirit behind this, and it's a spirit in the scriptures, man. So the so-called white man wrote the book of Tobit. What I can even think of that, man. He wrote the epistles, the gospels. He wrote John. You think the so-called white man wrote the book of John? So this madness, look at this, man. I'll play it one more time. And he might not even be part of the damn sacrifice, man. But he can't help himself.
Snuck in.
He snuck in. And this guy's probably your supervisor, man, at your job. You know, this guy's probably your boss, man, your judge, your doctor. Probably gave you a physical, man. Police, he probably pulled you over. Was the police planted coke on you, man? And here's what he does once he takes his uniform off. He drives to the middle of damn wherever they are, Colorado, in the mountains, and he runs around naked and catch a flight back to Amazon to tell you to build faster, build those boxes faster, with his operations vest on. See that?
Hey, you know, he looked like my so-called manager.
Might be.
So-called.
He do.
Yeah, you do. That was in that lie. Might be him.
Might be him.
Just might.
So they wrapping these guys up in a body bag. And like I said, we're not going to play this whole thing. But if you had a spirit and you wanted to watch this and kind of see what happened next, I mean that's completely. Look at this. So the Most High is not dealing with this, man.
Like that fire with them Satan horns, man.
Let me get this precept real quick. Right. And again, why are we going over this? Because this is the true origin. They're showing you what really goes on Halloween. See, trick-or-treating is for low-level American citizens. That's low-level stuff. You go to Walmart, you buy your costume, your outfit. There are levels to really following Halloween. You haven't really practiced Halloween until you've been to one of these. And you haven't really practiced Halloween until you actually learn how to do these ceremonies. And these guys, they have to practice this, man. They have to have the costumes, get their size. So there are levels to this. Right now, Jake, you're practicing low-level witchcraft when you go door to door and you knock and you get the candy and you freak off. But then there are levels to sorcery. So you're just on a micro level, man. You know, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and I'm gonna start at verse number 22. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and 22. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God, but whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance. Slucky, that's another war that's going on, right? While these other wars are going on, the great war of ignorance, right? That the hindering of knowledge. Those so great plagues called they peace, for whilst they slew their children and sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled. Because this type of stuff, they bring their woman, they be swapping wives and husbands, man. You know, so marriages, they become completely defiled. But either one slew another traitorously, or grieved him by adultery, so that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls. They're defiling their soul. Changing of kind. They're changing their kind. He's half beast, half man. He's a damn senator with a dress on. He got a skirt on. Waiting fire. That's changing of kind. Disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness. For the worshiping of idols, not to be named, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. And that started from the time of Genesis with idolatry, and it's going to end by idolatry. Now we get another quick precept real quick. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, And I want to get verse Slakia. I want to get verse I believe I want 20. Right? This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. Actually, Slakia 11 and verse 16. It reads, I'm gonna start at 15. Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 15. But for the foolish devices of their wickedness, wherewith being deceived, they worship serpents void of reason and vile beasts. So they worship beasts. They dress like them in the ancient world. Thou didst send a multitude of unreasonable beasts upon them for vengeance. That here's the point, that they might know that wherewithal a man sinneth, by the same also shall he be punished. So if you want to serve beasts and play with fire, you're going to be destroyed by beasts and destroyed by fire. Whatever sin you put out there, that's how you get judged by the Most High. You commit adultery with another man's wife, that man is going to come back and kill you. You play with fire and sacrifices, the Most High is going to kill you by sacrifices. You worship wild beasts and idols, wild beasts are going to kill you. You worship the so-called white man, he's going to destroy you. It says, by the same, that they might know that wherewithal a man sinneth, by the same also shall he be punished. So all these men are going to be destroyed by what they worship, which is fire, and they're going to be destroyed by these demons that they worship. Huh? The brothers got it.
Quick precept, right? Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse number 7. And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in possession to Bacchus, carrying ivy. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashion and be partakers of their sacrifices, man. Right? So all these are strange sacrifices, man. Right? The same way you may have the carrying out of ivory, right? You have what's called certain rites, right, or certain rituals, right, which may be brought forth when it comes to entertaining and dealing with these sacrifices, man. Right? Whether it's dressing up, okay, you got the so-called pole, and you're spinning fire, right, on a high level, man, right? Which even they say that in certain cultures you have certain dances or certain things that you may do to perform or entice and appease your so-called gods, man, right? Which is what these men are doing on the left-hand side, right, for the spiritual demon Satan, man, right? Dance with fire, wearing horns, man, right, on a high level, right, and channeling up, right, stirring up, right, that mixing pot, right, that cesspool of demons out there, man. Okay, right, and even right, Slocky, right, and it reads that they should observe the same fashion and be partakers of their sacrifices, and whosoever would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery, man. Right? And you also get on that lower level, man, right? So where you may not be there, right, to kind of get down, right, with the high level demons, man, right? But your so-called teach men, right, on a small level, right? Well, your so-called just put on this costume, huh? Right? Just put on that cape, right? A word that a dunce hat, huh? Right? Just kind of get in, right? That way you don't feel shunned, right? That way you don't feel the shame or misery, right? Or the so-called chastisement, huh? Right? Of those who are evil. Well, you got it.
Come. So yeah, that, like I said, if you want to watch the rest of this, we're not going to play the whole thing, but obviously more demons came out. You can see more demons came out, right? You can see more demons came out, and really the concept. Look at this. The concept of dressing up, we're going to go into that as well, because look at this person flying. It's a person up there in the back, right? In the air. Maybe somebody's lifting their, we don't know. But the concept of dressing up goes back to Samhain, which means they would dress up to trick the evil spirits. This is what they believed. This was the day of, witchcraft and sorcery, and demons would be at an all-time high. So the tradition says that they would dress up in costumes. So people dress up like Spider-Man, a witch, damn Tarzan or whatever, because it goes back to the Samhain custom of dressing up that the demons don't recognize you. That's why people do these things, So I'm gonna go into that real quick. We got a few more things we want to go into through the spirit, man. So this stuff is getting what they call spooky, man. Right? High level sorcery through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. So that's Jack-o'-lantern. We had a lot. Now these are the top costumes that people dress up as: Spider-Man, princess, a witch, a ghost, Batman, a damn pumpkin, zombie, vampire. And then for an adult, the number one thing an adult wants to be is a witch, a vampire, a ghost, a pirate, a cat or Batman, zombie, Spider-Man, or Dracula. So you got to watch these spirits, man.
Well, it said devil at the bottom.
We'll say, yep, the devil. Some people say, look, it's not enough. I want to be the devil. Why would you want to be the devil, man? Why would you just want to be the devil? So this is what the people are into, man. And which is top 3 for your pet. You put a spirit on your beast. You dress your beast up as a pumpkin, a hot dog. That's carnal, right?
Dress your dog up as a hot dog?
Yeah, come on. So this is madness. A bumblebee, a witch, a lion. So these are the top spirit. Now I say it's costume, but it's really spirits. The top spirits. Because when you read to the point that Gabar made, when you read 2 Kings, you read about Jehu giving the people vestments. So they would put on vestments to do the sacrifices to Baal. Right? Let me get that precept real quick. I'm gonna just type it in for sake of time. Right? This is here it is, 2 Kings. Right? This 2 Kings chapter 10. And they were about to worship Baal in this account. 2 Kings 10-21. And Jehu sent through all Israel, and all the worshipers of Baal came, so that there was not a man left that came not. And they came into the house of Baal. And the house of Baal was full from one end to the other. Full house. Here's the point. And he said unto him that was over the vestry, bring forth vestments for all the worshipers of Baal. And he brought them forth vestments. So you have to dress up in a particular garment to serve these gods, man. That's the point Gabar was making. You have to. It's part of the rites. We have to wear fringes. The high priest had to wear a vestment. He had to wear the linen or the ephod with the breastplate, with the golden plate on the forehead that said holiness to Yahweh. He had to have the bells, on the bottom of his garment. He had to have it. It had to be one fabric. He had to wear it. And there's a spirit behind clothes too, man. And they're finding out a lot of people are dying from these clothes. I don't know if brother saw that, but they're putting chemicals and spirits in these clothes, and people are dying. They're getting these clothes from Sheen and these other places, man. And they're finding out they're putting a lot of spirits in these clothes and excess inks and dyes and spirits, and people are itching and scratching and falling out in hives and, dying, man. So part of wearing these costumes goes ultimately back to ancient Baal worship, right? And those were the top so-called costumes of the time. I want to pull this up real quick as well. So it reads, this is from blogs.lock.gov, right? About Halloween traditions. So the wearing of scary costumes, here's where it comes from. In order to avoid being terrorized by all the evil spirits walking the earth during Samhain, the Celts donned disguises in order to confuse the spirits and be left alone. Now, can you confuse a demon? You dressed up like Spider-Man. Does the demon not know that you are serving another God? You don't think these spirits know who you are, man? You know, you can hide. Their eyes are 10,000. The eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. Hebrews, that's Sirach 23 and 19. Sirach, it's like in Hebrews, the 4th chapter. It says that we're naked before the Lord, man, with the eyes of him with whom we have to do. In Hebrews 4 and 13. So your costume, people don't even know why they wear these costumes. They're wearing them because they're trying to avoid demons. But they are the demons. But brothers got it.
And I wanted to bring out this precept in Mark chapter 1. I think Gabar backstage.
Okay, Con, let me bring him in.
Con. Yeah, this is the book of Mark, chapter 1, and I want to start at verse 23. Right to the brother's point. These demons know exactly who you are. That's why certain demons are more friendly, certain spirits, may befall you that don't befall another brother, because that spirit is familiar with you, man. Certain people just have a folly spirit, always joking, always laughing, can never be serious, can never stand strong for the words of the Most High, weak, right? Just want to deal with things of this world. You got certain people, they deal with lust heavy, right? Whatever the case may be, fornication, right? Adultery. Certain spirits, they know exactly who you are, what you're weak in, and they tackle you with it, man, right? It says, it's the book of Mark, chapter 1 and verse 23. And there was in the synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Yahushua of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art. Right? So these demons, they know exactly who you are. Right? The Heavenly Father, he created these spirits. Right? And before you were manifest on earth, you were in the third heaven. Right? You have the host of heaven already in the third heaven. So it's not impossible or preposterous to think that these spirits don't already know who you are way before you hit the earth, man. Right? The Lord sends spirits on people, man, and let Satan run to and fro throughout the earth, devouring man and trying man. You can read about that in Job, the 1st chapter, and the 2nd chapter. And Yahushua rebuked him, saying, hold thy peace and come out of him. And when the unclean spirit had torn him and cried with a loud voice, he came out of him. So these spirits don't want to come out of you, man. It said he had cried, he had torn him. And when you watch certain movies and like certain Exodus and things like that, they portray in the movies somebody getting tossed around and dropping down to the floor and all hell kind of breaking loose. But you can read right here, it said he torn him and he cried with a loud voice and came out of him. Certain spirits you'll even witness being at camp, you'll try to teach them and tell them righteousness, and the more angry they'll get. And you're not saying anything offensive. You're not being mean to that brother. You're not putting your hands on that brother. You just say, hey, brother, put down that cigarette. Hey, who are you to tell me what I ought to do? Well, the Lord said, well, I mean, who is the Lord? Right? Then he started, the more and more wickedness, the more you try to pull that demon out of him, the more that spirit within him will cry, a torn, going back and forth, because it's like the spirit of righteousness is trying to enter in while that spirit is trying to maintain that vessel. It's real spiritual. So if you're able to, right, commit and have, righteousness, come about and that spirit leave that man, a spiritual exorcism, that's hard to do, man. Not all spirits, tend to try to lead these vessels, right? They tend to stick, to that man or that woman, right? Like it says in Matthew, the 12th chapter, verse 43, right, all the way down. You can get that real fast, King. I want to get one more. Matthew chapter 12, right, in verse 43, it says, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest and findeth none. Right? So these spirits are walking to and fro throughout the earth. There's never a time when you go to the grocery store, go get your mail, or go visit your family where these spirits aren't walking to and fro. They're always in the earth. You walk past them daily. It says, then he saith, I will return into my house. Why is he saying that? because these spirits are familiar with you. From whence I came out, and from whence, so like, and when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. When he goeth, he taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter into and dwell there, and the last state of that man is worse than the first, even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation. Right? And that's the spirit of a man that repents, a man that cleanses himself, maybe fast or prayer. Next thing you know, entertain that same demon, and these things hop right back upon him. That's why the lesson brothers are going to is spiritual, because if you entertain the same thing you threw up, how much more wicked will you be with those spirits that'll hop on you? Brothers got it.
God got a quick precept in the book of Acts, chapter 19, verse 13.
God.
And it reads, Then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, took upon them to call over them, which had evil spirits, the name of the Lord Yahushua, saying, We adjure you by Yahushua, whom Paul preacheth. So even back in the day, you have exorcists being performed to execute it. You see it a lot of the times in these movies, sensationalism. You got the Catholic Church. You got the Catholic Church doing a lot of those exorcists. And they don't know what they're doing. They're winging it. They get this nasty ass water that they got out the sink, and they're so-called praying over it. And they claim to, remove and expel spirits. But, that's they don't know what's going on. But one thing to believe is, and to know it's true, that they do deal with those demons. They have encountered them. We encounter them, right? If you have an eye and a mind, you will know when a demon is being a demon. Reading on in verse 14, and there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew, and a chief of the priest which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? Let me backing off the previous point of the brother, stating that these men and women will try to disguise themselves during this day or during whatever day, when in reality, these spirits already know who's who. Because prior to Paul's name being Paul, wasn't it Saul? But yet that spirit already knew. Spirits be watching. They be observing. That's why he said Paul instead of Saul, because he knew when his name changed. He knew about Yahushua. Paul I know, but who are you? Right? Like, in other words, like, y'all ain't nothing. Y'all lesser men. So the spirit is also, in this account, we also know that the spirit is acknowledging mighty men, such as Paul and Yahushua. In verse 16, and the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out the house naked and wounded. They got jammed up. To say the least. And this was known to all the Jews and Greeks also dwelling at Ephesus, and fear fell on them all. And the name of the Lord Yahushua was magnified. And so even in the ancient world, our forefathers was attempting to exorcise spirits. And this is, through extrapolation, we understand that other times spirits was extracted. Yahushua extracted spirits. On the highways and byways, all you got to do is go on YouTube. You'll see brothers extracting spirits. Because at one moment, a man may have the spirit of Catholicism, Christianity. Love is love. Not every spirit is super demonic and want to set people on fire. Some spirits are spirits of delusions. And they get exorcised once this truth is brought forth. With that, I yield.
Hey, yeah, I was saying, some brothers. Hey, this remind me of the demon that we had to deal with at the harbor last week, man. The word was coming out, and the demon inside of him leaped on us, man. Now, we wasn't like these guys by the mercy of the Most High. We wasn't overcame, and that demon didn't prevail. It was the exact opposite. The exact opposite. That demon actually fled out the house of the Lord, man. Crossing the boundaries into the house of the Lord, and that demon was damn near left naked and wounded, man. So this stuff gets real, man. Now, yeah, this stuff gets real. So let's I want to go. Let's go to this through the spirit. We got a few more traditions. So that's what wearing costumes goes to. There's another thing. Let's see. Okay, the carving of pumpkins. That's another thing that people do, and they don't know why. The tradition of carving jack-o'-lanterns originated in Ireland using turnips instead of pumpkins. It is allegedly based on a legend about a man named Stingy Jack who repeatedly trapped the devil and only let him go on a condition that Jack would never go to hell. But when Jack died, he learned that heaven did not want his soul either, so he was forced to wander the earth. Remind me of Matthew 12. As a ghost for eternity. The devil gave Jack a burning lump of coal and a carved out turnip to light his way. Locals eventually began carving scary faces into their own turnips to frighten away evil spirits. So that's where the carving of jack-o'-lanterns comes from. People carve pumpkins. It used to be turnips, and it was created to rebuke evil spirits, which is complete folly. Another tradition, we went into costumes, trick-or-treating, right? It reads, the first theory suggests, this is why it came about, that during Samhain, Celtic people will leave food out to appease the spirits, traveling the earth at night. Over time, people began to dress as these unearthly beings in exchange for similar offerings of food and drink. It reads, well, that's pretty much it. So that's what they would do, right? That's where it comes from. They would try to give food to these different spirits, right? And then they would dress up like these costumes. So they go this website. You can go into on your own. It's blogs.loc or loc.gov, headlines and heroes, the origins of Halloween tradition. So they go into where black and orange comes from. Why does everybody wear black and orange? And watch your brother that want to wear black and orange fringes during Halloween. Oh, it's just it's by chance, time and chance happening to them. No, not time and chance, brother. You really decided to wear black and orange fringes, man. A black and orange shirt. Now, is it a sin if you wear a black and orange shirt? No, but if you just happen to wear a black and orange shirt on Halloween with black and orange fringes, come on, brother. So the traditional Halloween colors of black and orange also traces back to the Celtic festival of Samhain. For the Celts, black represented the death of summer, while the orange symbolized the autumn harvest season. So you Negroes that want to wear black and orange, you got to know what you're getting yourself into, man. Bobbing for apples is a courting ritual. It's an actual ritual. You know, the concept of pranking, playing pranks goes back to Devil's Night, right? It goes back to Devil's Night. So they would do, or Mischief Night. Where's it at in the scriptures? Mischief Night. Mischief Night and Devil's Night. So you can look more into that on your own. Organized mischief. Lighting candles and bonfires. So they pretty much go into this whole thing, right? Where candy comes from, you know, Halloween candy and all of the origins. So this website, again, if you wanted to learn more, it's from the Library of Congress blogs, headlines and heroes, the origins of Halloween traditions, right? The origins of Halloween traditions. And I believe that was most of what we had through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Shai regarding Halloween, right? Do brothers want to bring out anything or any closing precepts or any information?
Con, I didn't have anything else. If brothers did.
Con.
Okay, Con.
Con, you got it.
Yeah, I was gonna bring out a closing precept. If you got something else, you got it, Ken.
Yeah. I was just going to charge, right, brothers, sisters, families, households, right, to make sure that they are keeping the new moon, right, and that if right, need be, you may put up a sign or put up a poster, right, that says, no Halloween, right, no tricks or treats, right, no mischief or treats, man, right, that's going on, right, for that day, right, to deter, right, men or creeps, to come in, try to play pranks, scare, or try to get candy or mischief, right, on that day.
Yeah, might have to put a biblical verse on there.
Hey, yeah, look, let somebody come to my door and start trying to spook, and you tapping on the window and you running across the porch and you lighting the fire and you putting it out. It's gonna be a problem, man. And don't take all your candy. I'm trying to get all of my candy. I'm just put it out on the porch for a bowl. They could just take it. I'm not going to answer the door. They could just take it. Sign, take one, please. That's still going off. Don't be the brother. Well, I don't want to do candy. That's unhealthy. You get granola bars. You get granola bars and damn fruits and vegetables. Y'all need to eat some fruits. No, nothing to do with Halloween. I'm trying to cover everything because we know our people are simple. Right? And that's an excellent idea, putting something on your door, man. Don't turn your French light on. I mean your light, your porch light on, man. Oops. I guess that's a knock. I wonder who that could be. Right? You get up from doing your live and you reach in your pocket and you give the people sugar babies, man. Right? And damn all types of weird candies. And then one more thing, man. Don't be going to these grocery stores buying all this Halloween candy and eating it. It was just candy. I'm not celebrating it. Don't defile yourself with the portion of the king's meat, man.
Yeah. And you are celebrating it, eating it on that day. If you purposely go out and buy candy,
Yeah.
Look, you can't be a chameleon and try to hide and vanish in the darkness. You know what you're doing. Getting all that candy, you snuggled up at night, which is, you're snuggy, and you're watching. What are they watching? What are you watching around this time?
The Jeepers Creepers marathon and all these Halloween movies.
Casper the Ghost, Casper the demonic ghost, with your Hoagie in your back pocket. Jake, they watch these things. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
Come on.
So I can.
Come. Yeah, that's right. And like brothers are saying, man, you better not come around the way acting a damn fool, man. Right, straight up.
Yeah.
The righteous, brothers ain't having it, man. Right? It's the book of Revelation, right? Chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse number 2. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before Yahweh. Right? And this goes into examination, right, which we all need to be doing, more and more into the coming of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shah. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast, and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come to thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. Right? So you never know when the Lord is going to visit you and blow your candlestick out. So you have to continue to examine yourself and repent. Brothers got it.
God. This is Sirach chapter 35, verse 4. Thou shalt not appear empty before the Lord, for all these things are to be done because of the commandment. While people are making offerings unto Satan, unto the devil on the left-hand side, you got to do something with the Lord. You got to present something before him, right? Because if you're not, essentially, you're providing something to Satan. And so you got to examine yourself, like the brother said, and make sure you're bringing the necessary fruits thereof, right? Having a Halloween movie marathon isn't fruits. Wearing orange and black isn't fruits. Eating candy until you get cavities isn't a fruit. You understand? So you got to bring the proper, true fruits of the Spirit before the Lord and bring your works before him and set it upon an altar. With that, I yield.
All praise. Right. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 6 and verse number 12. And the fire upon the altar shall be burning in it. It shall not be put out. And the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and lay the burnt offering in order upon it. And he shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offerings. The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar. It shall never go up. Right. So the Lord charges us, especially as priests. We call ourselves as kings and priests and princesses of the Most High, to continue to bring forth those sacrifices on the right hand side, right, day in and day out, right, from the morning to evening, right, from the sundown right to the sunrise. All right, so that's all the reading, the alms, right, the charity, right, the teaching, making your body a living sacrifice, right, and putting forth your hand with all your strength, right, towards the ministry, and going as hard as you can, day in and day out, and not taking your hand off the plow, right, and not taking your foot off the gas, man. Right, so definitely want to charge and exhort, right, all the brothers and sisters, young and old, the children that tuned in tonight, right, to continue to keep that fire burning, and also to keep that fire consistent, right? Don't let your flame wither. Don't let the works that you're doing for the Most High to change and to decrease and to fall off, right? But to continue to keep that flame burning, continue to increase, right? Your sacrifice, right, and not let that fire, right, that zeal, that spirit that you had when you first came into the truth, right, to now, right, do not let that go out. All praise Most High.
And I'm gonna get Baruch chapter 4 and verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. So you was going 10 times hard in the world for Halloween, parties, Thanksgiving, Christmas. This is the wicked season. Right after this, you got people prepping for you're gonna start seeing turkeys on the shelf, man, and turkey decorations, and you're gonna start seeing Christmas trees, and you're gonna start seeing these different spirits are going to be more prevalent on the earth, man. And you can't have that spirit of being enticed and entertained. It says, as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. It's like getting fired from a job and they let you back, man. And they say, look, you know what? We're going to give you another chance, right? Yeah, we know you was underperforming. We know you wasn't showing up. Hey, look, we're going to let you back, man, and we're going to give you a raise. Hey, when you get back in that job, man, you're focused. You're dialed in, man. You work hard, and you're showing up early, man, and you're not letting anybody get you fired again because you know what it's like to be without. We know what it's like to be without this truth, man. What it's like to be without Yahweh Bashmi Awashah. So we have to go 10 times harder because you went 10 times hard in the world. Man, you went so hard in the world for folly and vanity. I mean, you went out of your way. You drove miles. You did things you never thought you would do. You took risk and chanced your life and the lives of your loved ones, and your health was on the line and sleep was on the line. You did it all for a woman or drugs or folly and vanity. Why can't we do that for Yahweh Bashmi Awashah? Right? So don't take heed to these spirits that are going to be more prevalent as we approach this season, man. But be mindful of these spirits, rebuke the temptation, and stay fervent for Yahweh Bashima Mashiach Malak Bashah. So with that, we're going to close up. Brother Naquan.
Shalom, brother. Right.
Brother Yardan, shalom.
Shalom, brother Gabar Allah.
Kwam Yasha. Shalom.
Kwam Yasha. Shalom.